Manga versus Webtoon. The time-old story of just about a decade, actually. This is a topic that I actually made on my channel about 2 years ago. I wanted to revisit this topic because my thoughts have kind of changed a little bit, and I really no longer think that the Webtoon format is a clear winner in my mind anymore. That being said, I still do think the Webtoon format is superior, and going forward, most of my main projects will be in that format, but I'm definitely more open to make manga in the future, you know? So why do I think the Webtoon format is better? First off is color. I mean, that's kind of the first noticeable thing you'll see when comparing the two. I don't really have to explain this one, and there might be some people that say the black and white aesthetic looks better in manga. First, I would probably just say they're crazy or weird in not a fun way. And you could also just chalk it up to there's probably a lot of mangaka that are just way better artists than your run-of-the-mill webtoon creator. And I think in the future, especially with the increased color accuracy coming to phones and displays and just better ways for digital artists to keep improving and being able to color better, faster, and more efficiently, I believe in the future it'll just be no contest between the two. And another way I think the Webtoon format is a superior format is the pacing of the panels the format allows you. With manga, having up to 5 to 6 panels per page all at once thrown right in your face can kind of lead to a sensory overload and can really remove the impact of a lot of key panels. You know, granted the artist, has to work around that somehow. That's kind of a challenge, when making a manga. There's sometimes where it has to happen or it can't really be avoided. Whereas with Webtoon and the infinite scrolling format, kind of just focusing on one single panel lets you really absorb it and kind of treat it more like a movie almost even, or a storyboard, allowing you to kind of properly digest it and then going to the next panel truly not knowing what's going to happen next, making it a much better read in my opinion. I love having huge gutters in my comics and just having a lot of space in between the panels, and it's just very satisfying when you kind of get it right in your comic, and it's very satisfying when you read it as well. And finally, the readability is so much higher when reading it from a phone. And honestly, as a creator making comics, you got to realize no matter what format you're making webtoon or, a traditional comic or manga format, your readers are probably going to be reading on their phone. But let's stop bashing manga and talk about the pros of it as well, because it's really not that black and white. As I kind of made it in a previous video, not last video, I definitely rambled a bit. It was kind of weird, me going back and watching a video from 2 years ago, and I was like, I don't feel like I was bad at making videos 2 years ago, but I've definitely gotten better at making videos, I think. But yeah, the first two that come to mind for manga are the physical merch viability of it, which is amazing, and just the amazing works that come from the 2-page panels that really only manga has. I think all of the panel types are pretty comparable. Even like the long scrolling panel in webtoons can kind of be copied somewhat in just a full panel spread, but the wide, full screen, right in your face, 2 panels spread is just unparalleled in webtoons, I think. It's just, you can kind of do it by turning your phone on the side or have it just be sideways, but it's very immersion breaking. It doesn't really work. The 2-page panel is kind of like the peak panel in any comic or manga, and as of now you really can't emulate that over into a webtoon, and I'm really jealous. I've never even made one before. I hope to make one this year. I'm planning to join the silent manga auction this year, and maybe even do the other one at the end of the year, just because it seems like fun. I've never really done a complete manga before, and being able to see it physically in the future would be really cool as well. And I definitely want to do a 2-page spread, see what that looks like. And again, the physical merch viability of it, converting it to a volume is stupid simple, obviously. I mean, that was how it was originally distributed, of course. And people say print media is dying, but look up the recent manga sales of your favorite anime adaptation last year, and you will see it's definitely not dying. Sure, those are mostly inflated by Japan, but really over here in the West too, they still sell quite well, and even more than Western comics over here. And as a creator, having physical merch of your product being able to sell cheap for a decent price is really awesome. You can definitely make about a 200 to 300 page volume of your work and sell it for probably anywhere from $7 to $10. Whereas if you were to try to make a 200 to 300 page comic from your webcomic in full color, you would have to sell that for double the price at the very least, and you would probably have less panels, to be honest. That's just how it is. But those are the kind of trade-offs you kind of sign up for when making a webtoon. That's pretty much it. I just kind of really quick video, just kind of want to go over my thoughts of which one's better. I'm kind of sick of people just saying one's better than the other. It is personal preference at the end of the day. They are targeted at 2 different things though. So while they are kind of comparable, you know, they are two different forms of media, and I really don't see one dying out anytime soon. And as a creator, which one do you choose? You know, it's up to you. It's what you're kind of looking to do. I used to think it had something to do with art style. At this point, I think it has nothing to do with art style. Someone in my Discord said that their art style was more suited towards manga, and I think that's just they know who they are when they watch this. I think that's just a crazy kind of thought process. I think any style of art can fit webcomic or the manga format, and if you think otherwise, you just need to broaden your horizons and think outside the box a bit. And you know, there has come like a webtoon style now where it's kind of just all lean looking, but I think in the future we're definitely going to see a lot more different art styles moving forward. But as a creator, I would just say what you're trying to do. I mean, if you want to make a physical manga of your thing, and that's like a life goal that you have, you know, that's something I want to do in the future as well. Yeah, manga is definitely going to be the way to go. If you're just looking to make a comic to kind of get out into the world and have fun with, and to just get as many eyes in front of it as you possibly can, the webtoon format is definitely the one for you. But that's it for this video. Tell me down below what you guys think, which one reigns supreme in your mind. And this is a little bonus question. If anyone's got any ideas for this, it's interesting to think how the manga format has existed for the past almost 100 years, whereas the webtoon format has only existed for 10 to 15 years or so. Makes me wonder what kind of comics are going to be available in the future. One that I think about is a VR/AR comic, and how would that be presented? And that's something that can kind of prop up now, and maybe I'll make a video about that in the future and how that would work. There's so many other things that could be done in the future. I think motion comics are something that's kind of been untouched a lot, but as technology and just our tools to make comics grow, I think that's something that we may use as a primary comic format in the future as well. And how would that look? And just any other ideas. And bonus question, if you're still watching, is as I was writing and talking about this video, I do say webtoon a lot, and what I mean is not necessarily the website, is what I mean is the infinite scrolling comic. And it's kind of annoying how webtoon's marketing was just so good to make the webtoon word just kind of mean that, when it really isn't. All it means is the brand. So I think in the future I want to make a video kind of explaining that and how they did that, and maybe go over the history of it, and maybe try to think of a better word to kind of explain that comic. There might be already a word for it, but we just need to popularize it more and kind of separate it from webtoon, because honestly, I feel like that ship might be sinking in the next 5 to 10 years. Yeah, tell me what you think. I'm streaming tomorrow, Saturday, January 21st, 6 p.m. EST, as always. Hope to see you around.